Hey, it's time for TV Skywriter. Very glitchy.
Do you want to try to bring Caitlin in?
Let's see if it works.
I'm going to X myself out. Don't get rid of me. I'm going to X myself out. Bye.
Okay.
All right, there I go.
Okay. And so let's see if I can, if it's possible to bring you on, Caitlin, that would really be awesome. And maybe you can help us, because this is my new home. So, so if you can come in, Caitlin wants to be a guest. So I click on, I assume your photo up here, invite guest, 30-second countdown.
Hi, everybody.
Caitlin, hello.
How is everybody?
I'm doing fine. I hope everybody else is fine. I've done a couple of shows before with no glitches, but this is, I'm still very new to this platform. And I was first on Chrome, and no one could hear. Everyone could hear me and my guest. I could not hear my guest no matter what I did. I even left, restarted, and came back. Still couldn't hear my guest. So I tried. I'm on Firetalk now, so now I'm able to see and hear everyone. So is this only available on Firefox?
It's not. It should also be working on Chrome. Sometimes when there's an issue like that, it's a connectivity problem on someone's end. I don't know if anybody checked like the Wi-Fi signal or anything, but sometimes if Wi-Fi is poor on one end or another, or even both ends, that can cause a problem with hearing it.
Okay, I really appreciate. And who summoned you, so to speak?
I think Beauty Bubble emailed me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm new to this. This is going to be my new home. And thank you so much. So I have an online newspaper. So I've used different platforms for my TV show, which, believe it or not, airs, of course, obviously live. But I also have it set up so that my local cable company also runs my show,
all right.
Which is really cool. So we're all learning at the same time here.
Welcome. Sandra, it's not on Android at the moment. We found that most of our users have been using iOS in the past. So there is an iOS app, but we don't have Android in the works right now.
Okay. So how does this work? I mean, if I'm not hearing my guest or vice versa, I should just automatically come to Firefox, because it seems to be.
I haven't had that experience before or heard from people doing that. I can do some testing and see if we can, if I can establish if Chrome is being strange. I'm currently on Chrome right now and I hear you fine. But I will look into that and see if there's anything we can do, or if that was just an isolated incident. Because that hasn't happened to me before. And I don't think that I've heard people reporting that before, but I will look in. Because we have been making some changes recently, so.
Okay, because I've noticed some changes even today. So can you give us a tutorial on how to bring guests in? Sure. Because I actually tried clicking on the little, I guess that's a camera or something above. Tell us the correct procedure for bringing in guests and keeping them live. Because I had to keep coming and going.
Yeah.
Just wasn't working.
So we have a couple of different ways to bring guests on. Again, sometimes if someone has bad connectivity, they might pop off, which isn't ideal, but is sometimes just what happens. But so the main way to invite a guest on is if a guest raises their hand, we call it guest me, which is they click the little video icon below their chat stream, which you don't see as the host, but they can see. That'll pop up that message that I sent that says Caitlin wants to be a guest or the user wants to be a guest.
Oh, okay. And so where would I see that?
So when someone clicks on that, which is the icon in the chat stream is not visible to the host because it's not something that the host needs to interact with. But so when someone clicks on that, their name then pops up for the host above the screen, which I think you saw. That's called the queue. And so if multiple people want to do that, they will all pop up over there so that you can see who wants to guest and you can pick people. And so then you can, sorry, go ahead.
So if Rhonda is saying that she tried it and doesn't, so I should have seen her name pop up as being in the queue, right? Because right now I'm showing 0 to the left where I think the icon is a TV camera.
Yeah, it looks like a video camera. Rhonda, what platform are you using? Sorry, what like browser are you using?
I think I only get the camera, Sandra. I think the camera, the little icon. I only get that, right, on top of the screen.
That's
there.
Right. Yeah. So the camera icon above the screen is only for the host, and the camera icon on the chat is only for viewers. Rhonda, are you using like Chrome or Firefox? Okay. So Rhonda, that's because have you already been on to guest today, or have you already clicked that button today? Okay, so that's why. We're actually working to change that, but currently it only pops up once, so the first time that you've guested. But we do have a ticket in. I actually made sure that it was in there because we heard recently.
Okay, because right now it's showing 0,
right.
So I don't even know people want to come on.
Right, so that's because Rhonda has already been through the guesting process. We're working to update it so that once they've left the queue again, they can be added back in. But there are other ways to bring people on other than that process. So
what's the what's
so you can also go into the chat stream or into the viewers list and pick someone's name. So you can click on their name and then it'll give you an option to invite a guest. It might not when I'm up, although I think it does, and then that would boot me off if you were to do that.
Okay, because I don't see that at all. So after you leave, the safest way while it seems that is this platform still changing and growing?
It is, yes.
Okay, so I think the smoothest way then is saying goodbye to your guest and then going to the viewers list and just choosing from that list. That would probably be the smoothest way until everything's ironed out.
Right, it sort of depends.
Because I don't see a real queue with people lined up. I don't.
So the queue only pops up if if a viewer clicks the video button below their chat screen, and then that video camera button goes away again once they've done it once. We're working to change that, like I said, to update it so people can guest multiple times.
Okay, because for now, I don't know who tried to get in. So someone could put in the chat stream, I'd like to be your next guest.
Right, exactly, yeah. You can always message and you can, so if someone were to do that, and you wanted to bring them on, you could click on their name. So you could click on Sandra right now and it should bring a pop-up up that says, that gives information about her channel and also says invite guest.
Interesting. Thank you. Caitlin, thank you so much. We have so many questions because I have another question. The difference between what I'm doing now, which is a live show, as opposed to what's the other,
So this is a live episode on a channel, and you can also make an event, which is different.
Okay.
So an event is a separate URL, so you can sort of decide who you want to send that information to, and it's a ticketed broadcast. So what you do is you set a number of tickets. You can go as high as 500 or even higher if you potentially wanted a bigger reach. And
500 viewers or 500
500 viewers.
Okay.
And then you can set the price. You can set the price for whatever you'd like. It can also be free. So you first, when you schedule an event, you choose if it's free or paid, and then you fill out the event details. And then you get, like I said, an individual URL that is on that page. It has the event flyer and the ticketing information there. And then when it's time for the event, that page flips over to be the event player. So your event is always contained in that URL. And people can reserve tickets, free or paid. If it's paid, then you have to, you as the host have to fill out some information for Stripe, which is our processing partner. And then people just input their information and can reserve a ticket. And then once they've done that, you are notified as the host that you've sold that number of tickets. and everybody visits the event page when it's time to go live, and it flips over, and the event goes live.
Now, I'm seeing statements in the chat that people are seeing things and not seeing things. What I would suggest, I'm so very new. We're all very new to this platform. I would guess that maybe we start slow. I'm not going to try anything dealing with tickets and all that sort of thing just yet, because actually that limit your audience, because if it's a ticketed event, especially if money's involved, it's not going to go out over the air live, because that defeats the purpose of people paying to see the show, right?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Well, I would. What we're doing now is a broadcast.
Right.
I mean, it's not a ticketed event,
Right.
so it's unlimited. Whoever tunes in can see us. But I'm thinking that if you're going to limit your audience by charging and by making it a special event, that kind of defeats the purpose when you want to be discovered, right?
Yeah, they're two different kinds of broadcasts. If you're looking to broadcast for a set group of people, and you say you're doing a workshop, we had an SEO professional, search engine optimization, and she did a workshop, which she would usually charge for, and just sort of used this platform as a workshopping platform. So she charged $25 a ticket, and so that really worked for her. But again, if you're looking to do a television broadcast, I need where you give the events for the day, then you probably wouldn't want to do a ticketed event.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll stick with this format right now, because it seems that anybody can come in and watch. And that's what I want. We need discoverability. And I guess what frustrates, and I know people are asking questions on the side.
Sorry, I'm trying to read as we go.
Yeah. So people are saying that they're in line and they're not seeing it, and I'm not seeing it either. But again, you said that is being developed as we speak.
There might be changes as of today. I haven't actually looked at that today yet, but it is in development.
Okay, because I'm a journalist, so naturally I want as many people to see and hear as possible. I will probably never have a paid event or a special dealio. I'll probably always want to do this as a regular, whatever this is called.
Right, this is a channel broadcast. That's totally fine too. They're just different options.
Okay. Now here's the thing. We're all new. And we're all figuring all of this out. And I know people, I'm glad I really appreciate you coming aboard here.
I'm glad that I got on time.
and I do appreciate Beauty having you come on. Now, here's the thing. For those of us who are still learning, I notice there's no tutorials anywhere.
There are tutorials on our WordPress blog. I don't know if you guys have encountered that anywhere, but
no. Yeah. Oh, where can we find? Let me take notes here. I'm old school. I have to write it down.
It is here. I will type it into the chat stream. Sorry, I have my water bottle in my hand because my throat's a little rough tonight. But
Firetalk.
Oh, thanks, Rhonda.
WordPress.com.
Yeah, and
because we're all learning, and there's so many platforms out now. I chose this one because I like the fact that you can have programming running 24/7 when you're not live.
Yeah.
So in essence, it's like this just in, you can, break into your own programming with a live show,
exactly,
which is recorded and which you can, well, for me, I will edit this. Right. Well, not this, but when I do a formal interview, I edit it slightly and then re-upload it here and then put it on my newspaper, so to speak, my online newspaper, and just play with it and just have it available in different places. So we're all learning. We are all learning. We really appreciate your coming on. And if anybody else has questions, please type them in.
Let me go back.
Because this is Sandra's saying she has big ideas. Now, what I like about this is that you can have your own channel as opposed to just coming on air and just having a one-off show.
Right.
I like having a channel where you can have pre-recorded things on YouTube running, 24/7, and then you can slip in your shows. And I like to edit them. I really don't want this to. Oh, let me ask you this.
Yeah, of course.
You can connect this to YouTube, right?
You can, yes.
Okay. Now I don't want that to happen because I don't really want people to discover my bad shows.
So what happens is, so this doesn't broadcast live on YouTube. I should probably say that first. So what happens is that you can upload your events or your episodes after you've broadcast them to YouTube, which is where you bring them back to your playlist. But they automatically go to YouTube as what's it called? Unlisted. There's private.
They automatically?
Yeah. So if you send them to YouTube, they will default to private videos. So people won't see them unless you choose to make them visible.
Because see, I add, whenever I do an interview, I add a very short intro. Then at the end, I add scrolling credits. And then sometimes I'll add my, because like I said, I'm also viewed on cable TV here. So I will add information for, the necessary wording that they require. So this is really cool. So people are wanting to use this format. I mean, I think Firetalk is cool. It seems it's really cool. I like it a lot. We all have to learn. Where can we learn the ins and outs? Is that on the WordPress document?
Yeah, the WordPress has a lot of information. Our support site, which is at the bottom of every page too, has pretty similar information. A little bit more about some of the troubleshooting aspects, and is also where if you have if you need to put in a support ticket, you can do that.
Now, Sandra has a really scary question where she created a channel and can't find herself.
So, Sandra, if you created a channel, so on the homepage, that's something separate. The channels on the homepage are not all of the channels that are created. There are featured channels that we put up depending on, how often you go live. It's something that we do internally. So depending on how often you go live, what kind of content you're producing, we try and rotate pretty frequently, depending on, who's new and who we're trying to show people. But also anytime you do go live, no matter your channel, whether you're featured or not, you do appear on the homepage while you're live. It'll have a little banner. You'll appear at the top of the page. So if anybody wanted to leave quickly this broadcast now, sorry, I don't want to deter them. But if anybody popped back to their homepage just by clicking the Firetalk up in the corner, you'd be able to see that Durham is live on the homepage right now.
Really? Cool. Okay. So how can we work this? And what I mean is discoverability. I mean, some channels, if I can call it a channel, I don't know if you consider this a channel, but some of them, they have like these, like everybody's featured. Some have discoverability where you can really promote yourself. And it seems that with this particular platform, you have to already be known to your viewers. So how can you increase discoverability?
So right now,
on Firetalk?
Our suggestions are, Firetalk was originally envisioned as a space for people who had large audiences, on Twitter or on those sorts of platforms and didn't necessarily interact frequently with them face to face. And so the idea was that's why there's not so much discoverability, because they were sort of bringing their audiences over, which is something that we saw in the early use cases.
I see. More like commercial outfits with a built-in audience.
Exactly. Or, a YouTube star who doesn't usually live broadcast from YouTube and wanted to have a place where they could easily chat and bring people back.
Nice.
That's one of the reasons that discoverability looks the way it does right now. But in terms of using the system the way it is right now, there is, I think most of the viewers should be able to see there's a trending channel section above the player. You won't be able to see that. But for viewers, there's a trending section, so you can sort of scroll through there and see some of the channels that are available.
Sandra's excited.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, so that's a way to find people. Like I mentioned, anyone who's live is on the homepage. So, you know, if you take a look, if you hit subscribe, you will get an email notification when they're live, so you can sort of check out how people are doing.
People can subscribe to my channel?
They can. I'm going to do it right now, and you should get a little pop-up.
Where do you?
So at the bottom of the player for viewers, there's a little button in red that says subscribe, and when you click it, it'll turn gray and it'll say subscribed.
Whoa!
You can also.
I think I like it here.
I'm very glad.
This is awesome. Like I said, we're still learning. I really appreciate you spending time with us, because this,
thanks, Alfredo.
for a lot of us, this is really important. I know a lot of people jump on and they're, goofing around and hanging out. Right. But for some of us, this is really important. And actually, Sandra had mentioned this to me before. She wanted to change her name because she chose something other than her name and then changed her mind.
So, Sandra, if you want to change just your username, you can go into your profile, I believe, which is under the drop down in the top right corner, and do that. But if you want to change your URL, you'll have to give support an email, because that's something we have to do in the back end to check that it's not conflicting with anybody else's URL.
Okay, cool. And that's good, because when I first joined, actually, I chose Patricia A. Murray, but I had spaces as, the way I would ordinarily write my name. Right. And I got hyphens. I wasn't thinking. So I got hyphens. And I was like, oh my God, no, I don't want hyphens. Right. So I was able to get it changed to Patricia A. Murray just straight through.
Yeah, that usually takes no more than a couple of days. Sometimes there's a little bit of a backlog, but
actually it was instantaneous for me because one of your team members just happened to be on my show. And I asked her, and it was immediate. So we really appreciate the attention we're getting.
Well, we're trying to be here. It's still a pretty small team, but we try to be as active as possible.
So here's a couple of other questions. 2 video channels limit.
So tell me the way that video channels work. You can only have one you can only have one per social connection that you use. So if you signed on originally with Twitter, you could potentially create a separate channel with Facebook, but we don't have a way to stack channels together. So they would be associated with different social accounts, if that makes sense.
Okay, so one show per account.
Right, exactly.
Okay, well, that's cool. I mean, I have Durham Skywriter. And I also have DJ Pity Pat. So in that sense, I could have 2. I wouldn't want to do that, but I guess conceivably you could do that.
Right.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
And another.
I think we're gonna like it here.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to see you guys.
Can you tell us some of the upcoming changes?
I can't yet
because we're still learning. But what can we expect in the near future?
In the near future, I can't say any timelines, but we've been working from some feedback that we got with a couple of early users, especially from the events feature. One of the main requests was screen share. So we have screen share in the works, which should be ready very soon. I'm not sure exactly.
Isn't that what we're doing now? What is this called?
So this is guesting. Screen share is if you want to be able to bring up like a browser or to share a file or something
or another person.
I guess you could potentially figure out a way to do that. I'm not entirely sure how that would work. We don't have a more than one guest feature at the moment, Sandra. You could maybe game the screen share to do that, but I'm not exactly sure how the feature is going to work once it's fully rounded. So we'll have to see. But
Now, I have only accessed this via my laptop, and so Kimberly's asking about mobile users. I don't know anything about that. What can you tell her?
Right. So
This platform?
mobile users, if you have an iOS device, an Apple device, you can use the app. We have been working on deep links to be able to connect if you're using an Android device and are on the internet. But I'm not sure exactly when that'll be ready. I don't think that it's fleshed out yet. But if you are using an iOS device, you can use the app. It has a lot of the same features. You can reserve tickets through the app if there was an event scheduled. You can't push the guest me button, but you can chat. So you could say in chat that I'd like to be a guest, and then you could come on as a guest from a mobile device.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. This is really fun. It's clean. It's simple, kind of simple. I was very frustrated earlier today because I had to try this like 10 times when I was on, what was I on? Let's see. I'm on Firefox. I think I was on
Chrome, maybe.
Chrome. Yeah, it just wasn't working.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Occasionally also, when you bring a guest on for the first time, there will be permissions. Firetalk has to ask to use the microphone and camera, and so it'll ask for permission.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if that's the first time the guest has been on, those permissions won't work correctly, which means that the guest might say that they're loading and then get booted off, or they might not be able to get on at all.
Some awkward moments like that. People trying to come on. I didn't even see that they were trying to come on.
Right.
So I'm still learning, or maybe the platform is still learning. Or
yeah, I'll look into it and see if we had any problems on our side with guest. But I would also, there's a huge guest post on the blog, so you can look at that too and see if maybe there was something that you recognized that went strangely, with permissions or connectivity or something like that.
Awesome. Now, to answer a couple of questions over there, you can. So she's asking if Chrome is best.
I usually use Chrome. I've found that for me, the connectivity works best that way, but it sort of depends on what you're comfortable with.
Now, here's the cool thing about Firetalk. So if you have shows already uploaded, and so like, for example, we're in essence, we are interrupting my playlist.
Right, exactly.
Right. So you can have a playlist of YouTube videos, which is really cool. And then, so you don't have to you only need one address. That's what I like.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're live, you're live. You don't have to say ./ whatever.
Right. You have a fixed URL for your channel.
So when you're not live, your programming is running. I love that.
Well, thank you.
I love that. So you can just tell people I'm live now, and they already know your address.
Right, exactly.
So I love that. I really, really love that. So let's see. Caitlin, are you interested?
Oh man, an interview. That's Let's see. All platforms have done so. Yeah, I could probably do that. I'd have to talk to my boss, but I could definitely come on. Not today, I don't think, because I'm pretty busy this afternoon, but I could maybe do Monday.
Cool. And I would love to have a formal interview with you just to explain, because, again, I think we're all new to this. I know some people have been doing this sort of thing for like a decade or so, but I would say the majority of us, this is kind of new. And in fact, most of us here are probably all from the same, I've already, my mind is going blank.
No, that's okay.
I'm so enamored of Firetalk, I can't remember where are we all from. But anyway, this is so fun. I think a lot of us are going to use this Firetalk. I think it's really fun. Why don't you tell us some of the best features? Because we're all so new. I think for most of us, this is our first day.
All right. Well, for first day features, you're currently seeing the guest feature, which is something that we really like. We're pretty proud of the video and audio content. I have really poor lighting right now, but it is a pretty clear video for everybody involved, which is really nice because that, it makes a conversation easier. We also have the playlist feature, which you were talking about, Patricia, which lets you play videos live while you're off air.
This is wonderful.
So that you can visit everybody, or when people visit your channel, which is always at the same place, they can see the content. If people are visiting your channel and you're not live, the live chat still runs. So, if you wanted to have a discussion of some kind when you were live and then had to leave to do, life things, anybody who still wanted to have that discussion could keep having it in the live chat, even though you're not live.
Oh. Wow.
So that's a really nice thing too.
Wait, explain how that works.
Sure.
So I'll have signed off or I'll leave it open.
You can, so what happens is when you end your broadcast, it'll revert back to your playlist, but the live chat will always be there. And it never stops being live. So people can keep having a conversation, about whatever topic you were having, or you were talking about, and it'll just stay that way.
Because I was telling people that I'll be on in a second.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, I like that. That's a nice feature.
Thank you.
So you can tell people that, we'll be on the air in a couple of minutes.
Right.
I'm pouring myself some coffee or whatever. I like that a lot.
You can say, if you have other people from Durham, you can say post your announcements here, and we'll see about adding them at the end or discussing them, that sort of thing.
And you can tell people when you'll be on next.
Yes, you can. Channel updates is a great place for that. If you put the date in, and channel updates automatically go into your live stream, although they will eventually get bumped up past the cutoff.
The only awkward thing is once you decide to come on, you're on.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there's no countdown. It's just like, boom, camera, hello.
Yep. You click the start broadcast button and you put an episode title in, and then you're there.
Yeah, so it's like you have to get used to that. So I actually do a daily announcement show for my city, and there you are. And I now I was doing my daily announcements on another platform, and now I'll be doing it here on Firetalk. So what's awkward is that, like I said, it just starts automatically. It's right there. But fortunately, I know how to edit, so I can cut out the awkward beginning part where you're like, whoa, and then so you can cut that out. It's a little awkward. It takes some getting used to. Once you click live, you're live. But can you block people? Probably not, right?
You as the host can. So if you were to click on someone's name in the chat, here, let me make a comment. Don't actually follow through with this because then you'd block someone. But if you were to click on my name in the chat,
I see an X.
Right. So that X is if you hover over my name or my comment, you can delete that comment specifically with the X next to it. So go ahead and click that X, and then I'll comment again.
Okay.
So
it says delete or keep. Are you sure? Oh, let me just read so people can hear what's going on here. It says, "Are you sure you want to remove this item from the chat stream? It can't be undone." It says delete or keep.
Right.
So I'll click on delete.
So my comment just deleted. You can also, if you actually click on my name next to this hi, it'll bring a pop-up that gives my channel information.
Yes.
And it also has two buttons on the top. One is a circle with an X through it. And what's the other one? Oh, goodness.
There's an X and then a circle with a line.
Okay, so the circle with the line through it is to block a user. So if you were to click on that, it would say, do you want to block this user? And it would make you confirm that. And then the user would be blocked. I don't believe we have unblock controls daily at the moment.
Okay.
So
is it safe for me to click on the X to come back to the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay.
And so in that pop-up, if you were to click on somebody who's not on screen with you, it should also give you the option to bring them on as a guest.
Okay.
And that's also a great way. Anybody who's a viewer, you can go ahead and click on anybody's name in the chat, and you can subscribe directly to their channel from there. So, if you like what somebody's saying, you can subscribe to their channel. For the viewers,
Nice.
Clicking on that also gives the option to flag, which means that it'll let us know on the back end that someone has said something inappropriate, or that there's something going on.
Okay. And can you chat off the record? Probably not while I'm on the air, right?
So we don't have an off the record exactly, Sandra. We have a couple of options for your channel as a whole. If you were to go into your drop-down menu and click on settings, you can change the that'll bring you off air though, Pat, so don't do that. But if you were to go into settings, you could go over to the channel tab and scroll down a little bit, and there's a privacy option. Excuse me.
Excuse me, one second. Continue to ask questions. I'll be right back. A quick little break.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I'll keep talking to Sandra. So Sandra, if you were to go into those privacy options, it has the option to be public or unlisted. And so unlisted means that when you go live, nobody else, nobody on the homepage or anything will see that you're live. But your subscribers will still get notifications that you're going live. So it doesn't surface it to the whole site, but it will still surface to anybody who's involved in your channel, if that makes sense. Let's see, Beauty's question, how deep can the chat post? How many characters, and are there certain URLs that are not allowed? I believe that if you put a URL in with www, it should pop up as a clickable link. I don't think we have a way to restrict URLs at the moment. And chat posts are 250 characters each. And I think that there are usually about 100 characters or 100 posts within the chat stream before they get bumped off and then they disappear from the stream. I think that is good. Let's see.
And I'm back. Yeah, when people's eyes start to water, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're crying. It's like, whoa. Okay, I'm back. Hello. So what did I miss?
So I was talking about off the record, which we call unlisted. So what you can do is you can set your channel to two different settings. You can either do public or unlisted, and unlisted means that you don't pop up on the homepage or on the trending channels as live.
How do you do that?
So that's in your channel setting. You will still send out a notification to your subscribers that you're live, but it means that, if for whatever reason you only wanted your subscribers to be over and you didn't want new people to find you for a particular broadcast, you could change that setting and be able to do that.
Okay. We're learning so much. This is so awesome. I think this is definitely my new home.
Well, welcome.
This is definitely my new home. I guess the only frustrating thing is that it's going to take some work to be discovered.
Yeah, we recommend.
Do you have any suggestions for those of us who want to really use this to its full advantage and really get new viewers and just more attention online?
Right. One of the ways you can do that is by linking your channel to your other social accounts. So if you have a Durham Skywriter account on Twitter or on Facebook, you can make sure that you link this channel to that account, and then how do you link?
I'm not real technical.
That's okay. So you would go into your settings, and I don't remember where it is in settings, and I can't click off because I don't want to leave you here. But if you poke around in your settings, there is a way it'll come up with 3 bars. I think it just says social. It might even be a tab that says social. And you can click on each of those bars. One is for Facebook, one is for Twitter, and one is for Google+. And you can connect all of those accounts to this channel. Okay. And so what that does then is when you go live, you have the option to tweet or put a Facebook post out about it. You can also do that when you're not live. If you look at the bottom of your screen, there should be a little Twitter button, a little Facebook button. And the same for viewers. You should be able to see a little Twitter icon and a Facebook icon sort of near.
I was afraid to click on. What happens if I click on the Twitter and the Facebook icon?
So if you click on those, it'll bring up a pop-up that says, would you like to tweet out about it? And it'll populate that, live, saying, I'm live, come join me. And it should give your URL as well.
Now they won't need to be, will they need to log in anywhere? Can they come directly into the show, in other words?
Yes, as long as your channel is doesn't have any subscription requirement,
right.
People will be able to come straight to your show with that URL. You can also edit it daily. That's correct. You can edit any of the pop-ups, any of the Twitter or Facebook posts.
Whoa, beauty! Thank you. Whoa, good stuff.
And I know that we were having some trouble with one of the auto populates. So if you see anything that that says undefined in a pop-up, know that we are working to fix that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's the same with so Twitter. I see Twitter, Facebook. I don't see Google Plus.
I don't think we have a Google Plus share option.
Okay.
But
so what is that? What is that? What is that next to Facebook? Is that a link? What is that?
I think yours looks a little bit different than mine does. Oh, so that just gives you the URL of your account. If you were to click on that, it does the same sort of thing. It gives you the URL, and then you could share that wherever else you wanted to share it.
And then people can come directly.
Right here. Right, exactly.
Ooh, okay. And then to the left, I might as well go over all the icons.
Yeah.
Because some people I don't know if I'm the most beginner.
No, don't worry about it.
Person here. But I assume that 11, that's the number of viewers. Then I see 10 with the Christmas package.
That's the number of gifts you've received.
Thank you. So, and I think that everything is not monetized, or rather nothing is monetized yet.
So the gifts aren't monetized at all, but you can monetize via events. And you can also monetize. We have a separate option. I don't think that it's public yet, but we can switch it on in the back end where you can charge for subscription to your channel. But that means that nobody can join unless they have a Firetalk account and subscribe and pay to your channel.
Yeah, well, that's not for me, but I can see other people maybe doing that. But I want as many viewers as possible. And like I said, I'm a journalist, so I'm not looking at the money-making aspects of this.
Right.
It's more important for me to share news and information. Man, I'm getting all these gifts now. It's not even my birthday. So 26, I assume that's the number of, well, it says 12 up.
So
I see 12 in the right-hand corner, but 26.
12 is also on the bottom there next to the eye icon. So that is your number of viewers. 26 is your number of subscribers. So that's how big your list is.
Okay. Man, even donut. Thank you. So the playlist button, so what playlist are they talking about? Is that the playlist that I have put on my channel?
Right, that would bring you to your dashboard, and that would let you edit your playlist.
So it's not like I can actually play something here during a show for my playlist.
No, not yet. Although when you have the screen share ability, which is coming soon, that will be a possibility.
Awesome. I don't know if you can divulge any features that will be arriving soon.
Screen share is the only one I can talk about right now, unfortunately. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Oh, this is cool. Actually, why don't you think of having a show on your own channel telling us new users and new fans how to best use I mean, I can understand reading the blog, but you can actually show us stuff.
We had been thinking about implementing some tutorial videos, so we might be able to do that.
Okay. And Sandra, she's already, I see the dollar signs in her eyes already.
So Sandra, our
it's Stripe, isn't it?
The monetization partner is Stripe. So you have to set up an account with that. And then percentage, I believe, is 80% after Stripe fees.
Okay. So you actually put on a show.
Excuse me, friends.
Or concert, rather.
Right.
And people are paying with, now it's Stripe. I don't know what Stripe is. Is that just like PayPal?
It is. It's the same sort of thing as PayPal. Yep.
Okay. Wow. So 80 80%?
That's right. Beauty.
80%. Okay. So there's extra fees as well, or?
No. So if you're using, so Stripe has a fee. I think it's
Stripe, right?
Stripe has a fee,
has
which
its
I
own
believe
fee,
is
right.
30 cents plus 2.9%, something like that.
Okay.
And then so they take that off the top of any transaction that you make, and then we take a 20% fee, and the rest of the 80% goes to the host.
Okay. I don't want to monopolize your time. I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
And we all want to use this to our best advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I say advantage, I'm a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to share information,
mm-hmm.
Share people, so to speak,
right.
Introduce people to the world, whatever. And I do a regular interview show. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So embed codes, the app kicked me out. I don't know what that means. Did she talk about embed codes? The app kicked.
The app, but.
Oh, what are embed codes?
So embedding is a way for you to put your live stream into another site. We don't currently have that, Kimberly, but we do, or are very close to having it for events. I have to double check, but that's only after the fact. So we don't have any live embed capabilities at the moment.
Okay. And I know you're checking on, I know this is still probably relatively new. I just wanted to say, when I did start the show on, what was it? Chrome or whatever the heck it was. I was the only person who couldn't hear my guest. And I restarted several times and then came on Firetalk, and it's working fine. Right. So I'm still learning, and apparently I guess this is still evolving.
Yeah, I'll go into it and look, because usually Chrome works very well for me. But I'll see if we had any trouble on the back end. It might have just been a glitch or a bug at that point in whatever the technical guys were doing.
Now, someone has to ask for 4 windows.
We have thought about it. It's not something that we're aiming for at the moment, because we found that the 2 windows, I know for the Blab people that it's very sad, but we found that the 2 windows really does help to maintain the quality, both of the audio and the video, and to sort of move the conversation forward, because you don't have people talking over each other. Although you can, if you have a co-host, which is something that a lot of people sort of have struggled with coming over from Blab, they have a co-host and would like to be able to bring a guest on and at least have 3, like you guys are saying.
Actually, we are going to get 3 in a way, didn't you just tell us about
if the screen sharing works to be able to share, another video app or something like that, you could potentially have 3 people in. But another thing is that what you can do is you can start the day off with your co-host and say, hey, this is what we're talking about today. And then your co-host can pop off. You can invite your guest in, and your co-host can manage the chat on the side. They can sort of, talk with people and keep the conversation going in the live chat. Something that I didn't mention, something that I didn't mention earlier, but I think someone asked about. You can also give someone producer capabilities, which are pretty basic at this point, but it means that that person can edit your live stream or your live chat. So, if somebody said something just not in keeping with what you were thinking that people should be saying, they would be able to hover over and either leave a comment or block a person. So that's also a good thing too. Let's see.
Awesome. Now, 2 windows and the ability to go full screen. Actually, it is full screen. Those little arrows, when you click on that, it goes full screen, but you can't see the chat, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if the viewer or you were to click on the icon in the very bottom right of the player, that brings the windows full screen. Okay.
Now, OBS and Wirecast is going over my head, but I know that's the fancy stuff. So what about
those are
that?
encoder options. You do have encoder options for events. We have removed them from channels at the moment because of the basically it was cost prohibitive. We didn't have enough people using that feature. So if you want to be able to broadcast with OBS or Wirecast, broadcast via events. You can also, on channels, use things like virtual cameras. I'm not super familiar with that technology, but if you're looking I know some people use encoder options to put, bottom third banners and that sort of thing in. And some virtual camera programs will allow you to do that and will still work on channels.
Okay. So when it comes to OBS and Wirecast, so they can do that as an event. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah. So if you want to use encoders, either hardware or software, you need to use an event.
Okay. And folks, there are two different ways to broadcast, right, with Firetalk. In other words, there's events, and then there's, what is this called? Just
a channel. Yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah. And if you're late in joining us, when you're live the way we are now, it interrupts my live stream, or if that's right, a playlist. That's the phrase. So as soon as we're done, then it just resumes where it left off, which is really cool. So in other words, you're occupying a space permanently. Well, at least as long as you're in business, which hopefully will be a very long time.
Well, thank you.
So you're occupying this space. This is my space, which means I don't have to worry about any special URLs for each show, like with other platforms. It's always going to be firetalk.com/Patricia A. Murray. Always.
Right, exactly.
I like that. Ooh, time limits. Good question.
So you don't have a time limit for the actual broadcast, but the recordings will only last for an hour and a half. So that's where that hour and a half time limit comes from. You could broadcast for longer than that if you chose to, but the recording won't last any longer than an hour and a half because of TalkBox, which I know some people have heard of through Blab. That's a limitation that they have that we've sort of been trying to work around, but it's pretty technically complicated.
Yeah, that can be nice. Like when Jonathan Tripp does his show, he records the official interview, and then goes off record for the after show chat.
Right.
So you'll just have to know that after 90 minutes, and gee whiz, I mean, I don't know if I could. I know I already proved I can't sit still for 90 minutes. So 90 minutes is plenty. You need to record locally. What do you mean by locally? Do you know what that means?
I'm not sure what that means. That might be in reference to the way that Blab works, where you can start a recording after you've actually started broadcasting. That's not a feature that we have, but the app does automatically record for you. And after a little bit of processing time, after you're done with the episode, will go into your dashboard.
Well, I have been on other platforms where I have to remind the person to click record.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, I just talked to the President of the United States and forgot to click record.
Yeah.
So at least here, as soon as you're ready to go, it's kind of embarrassing if you're not ready and you're still adjusting your hair and whatnot. I mean, everybody will see you. But
I always check before I go live with my other cam apps, but that's okay.
Well, the nice thing is when people want to guest, though, they do get a 30-second countdown so they can adjust their clothing and make sure their eyebrows are together and all that sort of thing. So I was going to ask you one more question, and I forgot because we were looking at the comments and you were responding so nicely to them. I just want to thank you for helping us, because if you could come, like if we could see you again another time and you can answer more questions. I think I'm going to keep this show up so that we can all watch it and learn from it, because this is really, I think, an awesome platform.
Well, thank you.
And this is my new home.
Welcome home.
And I think other people will, like I said, you can't really beat this. I mean, you have a 24/7 channel. You don't have to give people new URLs whenever you go on the air. I mean, it's just whatever you choose. And I think Sandra does want to change her channel name, so to speak.
Yeah. So if anybody has questions, sorry, I'm going to type this in. You can email support@firetalk.com or visit our Zendesk page. And that'll get answered as quickly as possible. Let's see, what other questions are here at the end? Sandra, we don't have any chat commands at the moment, which includes direct replies and that sort of thing, especially because chat moves very quickly. I know that that can be a problem. It is in our our list of things to work on, but we don't have a time frame at the moment. Astrup, we don't have a join guest button for the viewers on the wireless side, on the app side. But if you write in chat that you want to join, then a host would be able to click on your name and bring you on that way.
And Tommy, they do have a bucket list, but they're not divulging right now. Yeah.
And if you
count down to 90. Oh, okay.
And I'm also encouraging people, if you have a Twitter account and you're interested in talking about Firetalk there, you can tag something with Firetalk app and with wishlist, and I'll add it to our wish list of features and that sort of thing. I try to be pretty diligent about that, and also with
you actually had that. You had that yesterday, where you wanted to hear from us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Company blog is, again, I'll take that back.
I think it's Firetalk app.
It is. That's for anybody who needs that. Sorry, it's not a direct link. If you were to put HTTPS, etc. in front of it.
You have a lot of instructional information on your WordPress.
We do have a lot of instructional information there. If you're not finding something, you can try on a support site, which is at the bottom of every page. And
here's my suggestion.
Yes.
I really think that anyone, and hopefully it will be Team Firetalk, who puts out a YouTube video, because all the apps have just regular users, and they're monetizing too, instructing people how to use their particular platform. I think it would really help if you had, even though you have the WordPress, but you have to know about it to find it.
Yeah, there should be a link, but I'll have to go in and investigate. We had some changes of that sort of thing too. So, because
for right now, you have a 1 minute, 1 second video introducing people to this platform. But I really think that if you had an instructional,
if people would be great. It would be great for me to hear from people what sorts of features you'd like to hear about or to learn a little more about. Obviously, there would be an intro video, and I have all of those working in my mind. But yeah, if there's anything in particular that you guys would like to hear.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, Caitlin. And one more question. Give us some hints on discoverability.
All right. So best bet, make sure that you go live consistently. That's a great way for us to notice you and for people who are on the platform to notice you. Make sure that you share and ask your viewers to share, because viewers can also share live broadcasts. So use the social buttons, the Twitter and the Facebook button at the bottom.
The viewers have the same access to their Twitter and Facebook.
Right, exactly. So that links to their accounts, but it'll say come back to this Firetalk account. So use those. Use the hashtags, wishlist if you want to put a suggestion up there. We're at Firetalk app on Twitter and Firetalk on Facebook. So you can message us there too.
Now, how can we learn more? Because I noticed the same faces on my homepage. So I hope that's not all I hope there are more users than the few that I see.
There are more. Those are just the featured people that we have.
Okay. So how do we discover others? Because I learn by doing and by watching.
So my suggestion would be to look through Facebook and Twitter under Firetalk things so you can see who's using. You can also visit any channel, and then as a viewer, you can look at the top and see the trending channels feature, which I think Sandra or Beauty said that they saw their channel up there earlier. So that's a great way to scroll through as well. As you do that, make sure to subscribe to people, and that way you will be notified when they go live. And then they can sort of connect you to other people as well.
Wonderful. Wow. Thank you so much. And Beauty, thank you so much for asking Caitlin to join us. I learned, I have to take this all in. This is my new home for sure.
Yay.
This is definitely my new home. Excellent. And I think even if folks, here's what I suggest. I suggest that all of you start your Firetalk channels, park your best videos on there, and create a presence. Because I think if we all start watching each other's channels, I think we'll start creating more synergy and whatnot, And I wish there was a way for Firetalk to become more out there in public. You know what I mean? We want to help. I guess we don't know how.
Well, I mean, we have a pretty Our Facebook presence and our Twitter presence are the main social networks for us right now. So if you can share there, or if if you go live, make sure to post. That's very helpful for us, and it's very helpful for the community.
Thanks again, Caitlin. This has been super, super duper fun.
Well, thanks for having me, Patricia. Thanks for inviting me over.
Thank you. And I will, let's see, pop Sandra back. Is the best way to click on the person or to have the person X themselves out?
Either one is fine. The host can delete a guest, if for any reason the guest needs to be removed. But it's as easy for me to do it as for you to do it.
Okay. And this queue that we discussed at the very beginning, it's kind of being developed, right?
So currently you can only click that guest me button once, which is why there's some confusion about not being able to do it again. But once, if you want to invite someone else on again, you can just click on their name in the chat or in the viewers. If you go to the viewers tab, you can drag their profile picture onto the screen with you, and they should be able to come on live.
So here's my last question to you. Would you suggest that for us to get the best visibility and to best promote Firetalk, like I said, I love the fact that it's firetalk.com/Patricia A. Murray, whatever.
Right.
So we should all promote our own channels, right?
Right.
And put some videos up so you can stake your place, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
We can all discover each other's videos.
And go ahead and add a channel update as well, which is below the player, because that's a great way to let people know what your video is about. And especially when you go live, if you go live consistently, that's a great place to put that, or in your channel description.
What should we put in the channel update then? I see the little box that says say something. So what do you suggest?
So you could say when you'll next be live and what you'll be talking about. That's a great thing for that. And that way, if someone comes and visits when you're not live, they can know when to find you. So, Monday through Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, that sort of thing.
I love that. So people can be watching your videos, and then that's because I never really noticed that space. I just sort of overlook it.
Right.
So people are watching my videos, and then in that box, I'm telling them when I'll be on next.
Right, exactly. You can also put that in your channel about if you want to. Yeah.
And another thing I like is that you can always use the same URL to just let people know this is my channel.
Yep, and it's really easy to find you because it'll always be there.
Sweet. So they can check your channel, and then you'll have on the channel updates the next time you're live.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God. Oh, this is my new home for sure.
Well, hello.
Thank you so much. This is awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for the wonderful welcome.
Well, thank you for being here, and welcome to everybody. Welcome, Sandra, Beauty, Tommy, etc.
Thank you so much. So I think Sandra wants to come back in.
Yeah, so I'll bump off, and I'll stay in the chat for a minute in case you have any connectivity problems, but I'll go back, or I'll leave in a bit. But
okay, thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Patricia.
Okay, bye-bye. So I want to bring Sandra back. So let's see. So I'm full screen now. This is cool, nice and clear. So let's see, I click on viewers. And then Sandra, it says invite guests. Oh, and I can subscribe too. So I'm going to click on subscribe just for the heck of it. And then invite guest. 30-second countdown. Okay, yay. So let's see if I can hear you. Say something. Say something.
I'm on fire.
I can hear you.
Fire.
Yes.
I'm on fire.
Oh, this is
right, hold
awesome.
on. I got something for you.
She's just a girl and she's on fire.
Love it. This is awesome. Hey. This is awesome. This is cool.
Are you on fire?
Are
you on fire or what?
Sticking around.
Patricia, are you on fire?
On fire.
Fire.
On fire. Oh, this recorded 8 minutes with QuickTime Player. I have no idea how to do that. Where
Oh,
is
that's
that?
easy. That's on Mac. On the bottom, you can record it. You can also use, do you guys know about Screen? You can record the screen that way too.
No,
I'll have to do something about that.
I'm unsophisticated.
It's called Screen Mailer. Have you guys heard about that? You click on record, you can record the whole screen. You could do like how-to videos. So first of all, Patricia, don't call it MySpace. You're going to confuse people. That was the app that was back out in the 90s. Remember?
I never said the words
Yeah,
MySpace.
you kept saying, I have my space here. My space, my space.
Oh, MySpace.
MySpace was an app. Remember? Did you?
You know darn well that's not what I meant.
60. You remember MySpace?
This is awesome.
I know. So I know this was cool.